Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Chada Mecha live stream. I am your host, Tim, the one and only Chada Mecha. GBWC night, everybody. Let's go. Let's get busy with this thing, shall we? And we're going to show you the beam rifle tonight. So, before we do that, repping the Mecha Army tonight. If you are interested in repping the Mecha Army yourself, you want one of these t-shirts, hit up www.chadamecha.com, hit the store button up at the top. You will find this shirt, many more. You'll find hats, you'll find prints of my work, all sorts of cool stuff in there. So go hit it up, stock up right now. If you are interested in any of the tools and materials that we are going to be working with here tonight, I highly suggest that you hit up the Amazon link somewhere below here on Twitch and YouTube. That side, if you're watching on Facebook, I do get a bit of a commission based off the stuff that you buy, but it does not increase the cost for you. It definitely goes to help me out, help out the stream, fuel our endeavors moving forward. There's a ton of cool stuff in there. Like I said, tools and materials, books for inspiration, gear for streaming if you want to get into that. Tons of cool time and stuff in there and all that. Go look at it, right? And then, as always, if you are interested in kits, paints, tools, accessories, Mecha Decals, sheets 1 and 2, those are both in stock and shipping now. Hit up our good friends right down here. Adam and USA Gundam Store, the fine crew down there, will definitely have what you need. And hey, if you like what we're doing here, if you like learning, and if you like, seeing all this cool stuff we do, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And if you think somebody else should see this, share it with them. Email it to them. Retweet it. I don't give a shit. Just get it out there. Okay? Alrighty then. Let's get into this, shall we? Y'all want to see the gun? Y'all want to see it, right? I don't know if y'all want to see it. We can just sit here all day. I don't make no difference to me. Okay, fine. There it is. The new beam rifle. There she is. Now, this, I have to say I like it. I do. I do like it. I like it a lot. I think the launcher, and I wouldn't even call it a grenade launcher at this point, right? I'd almost call it like a pulse cannon or something like that, right? I think it looks damn cool, though. I'm not gonna lie. I think it looks pretty damn cool. Brandon's got a question.
We have a question.
Heyo. He says, are the tubes just small gauge wire? Yes, they are. Where did that... It's just this stuff right here. Small, just, vinyl coated, just flexible wire. Simple stuff. I had it laying around. I had that yellow, and I think I have green. So I thought red looked the most appropriate at this point, so... yeah. It seems like everybody likes it. That's awesome. Wilson Alanea is over there on Facebook. He says, that shit is nice. Thank you, Wilson. I appreciate that, buddy. Sam L says, hashtag Happy Nanner. R4R, wow, mind blown. Thank you, guys. Vincent Lewis, it looks pretty good, Tim. Thank you, Vince. Appreciate it. Scuffles says, it's a mag light at the bottom of the rifle, right? Nice. Not quite. Ridden Wisely says, that's getting heavy duty, right? Ruslan, mini bazooka? William Williams, it's a powerful laser plucked from the heads of killer sharks. There you go. Manny, Mr. Mech Dio over there, it's the Buster Cannon. Yeah, right? Vince Lewis, the grenade launch looks nice under the barrel also. Yeah. Well, see, I don't even know if we would classify this as a quote unquote grenade launcher, right? I'm kind of thinking it's more just like a cannon or something like that. I don't know. I don't even know. Like, it's wired and it's got power and pew pew, right? So I don't know. Let's see. R for Tim. My new spray booth filters and rotary burr set shipped over the weekend. Should be here next Saturday. That's awesome. Brandon says, "Are you calling this complete, at least for the time being?" Oh, hell no. No. This is not complete at all. We got shit to do. We're gonna work on this tonight. But this is kind of where we are at this point. Now the launcher, I would say is done at this point. You know, so that bit. And but I've still got to kind of detail everything else out at this point. Got to detail out the scope, the back end of the rifle, the other side as well, because it's just kind of like a blank canvas. But yeah, so far I dig it. Yeah, so far I dig it. So let's kind of show this off here a little bit more, shall we? So there's kind of your 3/4 view. Now, basically, if you remember what we started off with here, we started off with 2 plates of plastic, one here and one underneath of all this, with the tube and the little kind of ribs around it, and that's basically what we had at the end of last week, right? So as you can see, obviously added this little circular detail here on the back end to cap that back. Made 3 little brackets here. Those are a little hard to see, but let's get you zoomed in so you can see it a little bit maybe better. Yeah? But yeah, you can see these 3 brackets here that we had to make. These are, what is this? This is 2 strips of 1mm stacked up, ground the curve into that to fit the tube, and then mitered the corners of these things, and that's kind of how those brackets were made, and you can kind of see the profile there, right? Added an internal tube to this, so it wasn't just this kind of wide gaping hole, right? So I think that looks pretty good, and then beveled the inside of that. Now, if you flip this on the underside here, you kind of see how we bulked kind of this box up here. We bulked all that up and transitioned this over to the to the barrel of this cannon, the carrel. And what was funny is these little transition pieces here are actually little triangular pieces from Plastruct, right? Just little triangular shaped strips of plastic. That's it, right? And just popped it right down in there. Those transitioned everything really, really nicely. Added a strip right here. Chiseled a little detail there. Added this little kind of add-on piece there. Now the part that I'm actually particularly proud of on this little launcher here is this bit right in here, and I want to kind of pay special attention to that, right? Let's get super zoomed in because I want to show you what that's all about, and I want to show you kind of why I am particularly proud of that little bit. So let's go 5x, and there we go. So that's the details there, right? And like I said, the reason why I'm kind of proud of all that little detail right there. I'm trying to prop this up here, so there we go. All this little detail in here, that's all sculpted. These 3 little bits in here are actually sculpted from this piece of styrene. So I actually just took a chisel to this and sculpted all that out, right? Sculpted out a nice big swath right here for that little round mold there. Sculpted in this little strip, these two little pieces, that little sub kind of notch right there. So this is all sculpted in features, right? So I'm actually pretty damned happy about how that came out. I didn't know how that was gonna happen, but or how it was gonna go, I should say. But I particularly like it. I dig it a lot. I dig it a lot. And then obviously underneath of this strip, you've got two kind of horizontal notches there as well. So overall, I think pretty nice. And then of course the wires right there. Wires came out. They just kind of set everything off. But there's a closer look at the brackets and everything. And that's here. Let's turn this way and let's get focused. Right about there. And you can kind of see those brackets there, right? Those were not easy, you guys. I'm going to tell you right now. Each one I probably spent a good 15-20 minutes a piece on. So you're looking at least 45 minutes to an hour's worth of work just to create those three dumb little brackets. But I think they sell the part, right? They make it look kind of heavy. And obviously the two little minus molds there. There's the underside. You can see the transition pieces there and everything. That all looks really, really nice. There's that. And then let's see if you can kind of see the inside here. Let's get that focused. There we go. Yeah, you can kind of see that inner tube there and how that is inner beveled, right? So that's looking pretty nice. There's that little nubby part right there. Looks nice. But yeah, overall everything fits nicely with the mag. And yeah, so there you go. That, my friends, is the progress of the new beam rifle thus far, right? So let's get out of super zoom. Let's get back to work on this thing, and we'll kind of go from there. Okay. Let's get caught up in the chat first, shall we? Brandon says, "I love it, but feel the back end needs a little something. It's so front heavy right now." Yeah, no doubt. It's definitely front heavy with the with the launcher and everything like that. But I think once we go to paint and all that, it'll look much different. And I want to, like I said, I want to keep the overall appeal, the overall flavor of the original beam rifle, but then obviously bring in aesthetics from the origin and all that good stuff, but remix it to something that I kind of just like more, right? And then also you got to think, this is going on a rather large mech at this point. It's going on a Jesta frame, so that Jesta is going to have no problem holding that sumbitch up one-handed, and it's going to rock. So, and plus the idea that I have in my head is this: the RX-78 was, for all intents and purposes, a prototype, right? So you have to kind of fathom that any weaponry would have been prototypes as well. So this kind of looking somewhat hodgepodge, especially with the exposed wires and all that good stuff. This is all prototype, first level kind of stuff for these engineers. So I wanted to kind of keep it in that realm, so to speak, right? So I think just the the stuff that's kind of added on, tacked on, and just kind of thrown at the wall, it just goes to enhance that feel, right? So that's kind of the idea that I'm going for, and I think we nailed it. Honestly, I think we're right there. So the heavy part at the front, honestly, it's really only looks heavy on one side. On this side, it's not that bad, right? On this side, obviously, it's got, you know, this funky scope. It's got the beam cannon launcher, whatever you want to call it, right? But on this side, obviously, it's a little less heavy looking, right? But not mad at it. Not mad at it. Yeah. Anyway, let's get caught up here just real quick. Bill says something like a wireframe buttstock might fit with the design. Just an idea. It probably would if this wasn't an RX-78, right? It probably would look really good. But with this being, you know, obviously the RX and like we said, a prototype, I'm hesitant to do anything like that at this point, right? I just want to keep that little, you know, this little weird nub on the back and just kind of go from there. Ty Furious says those brackets make it look amazing. Thank you. You know, the brackets were like one of those things that I had to do to make it look heavy, right? Heavy brackets to hold up this freaking insane laser cannon thing. So yeah, I like that's probably one of my favorite parts is actually the brackets, right? So I'm figuring like if this is kind of your battery or your power core or whatever, you know, this will draw obviously a lot of power, both externally and internally, and pew pew, right? Away it goes. Sorry about your luck if you get in its way. R4 says, my God, man, I hope the Gundam's arm is reinforced. If not, the arm will be destroyed when it fires, much like any other suit trying to fire the Unicorn Gundam's beam magnum. Maybe. I think it'll be fine, though. Brandon says, just got word my local hobby store is opening up in 3 days a week for 4 hours at a time. Nice. Bill says, nice, Brandon. Brandon also continues, yeah, pretty excited to be able to support them again. Hell yeah. Mike Skyer's over there on YouTube. He says, oh my God, that's insane. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Let's see. Sam L. That little nubby part really sells it. Makes it look like it's on a bottom rail. Nice. Let's see. Robert Cottrell, he's over there on the Mecha Army Facebook group. He says, hey, Tim, got my Mecha Decals in today. Awesome. Thank you, Robert. Appreciate that, buddy. Use them well. Let's see. Seth Boyd is over there on YouTube. He says, ooh, looking good. But he's got a question. Okay, no problem. Let's load up the button, and any day now. There we go.
We have a question.
He says, when you build kits, do you try to stay screen accurate? No. Not in the least. Not anywhere near it. You know, the anime versions and stuff like that obviously don't have the details that we put into the models and stuff like that. So no, by no means would I ever want to stay screen accurate. I like adding panel lines. I like having my models look realistic, you know, to a point, obviously. And so, yeah, no, never, ever. Nope. Never intend to go that route either. Mike Scar says, I feel like a key feature of the RX rifles is that circular piece on the side. No, I do too. And that's kind of, you know, why I wanted to incorporate it, right? That's kind of an iconic part of, you know, the beam rifle, right? I think the main kind of iconic parts are, you know, the little nub on the back, the weird scopy light thing, and then obviously this, you know, unique barrel there at the front, right? And obviously, you know, compared to this, look what we pulled off of this, right? We pulled off the barrel, we pulled off the light scopy thing, and we pulled off the nubby part. So we got all three of the holy trinity of details in this thing. So yeah. Let's see. Sorvan's over there on Twitch. He says that's why the early type Origin rifle looks so good. No, I agree. The Origin does look very, very nice. I do like it a lot, right? The only part that I don't like about the Origin rifle is this kind of big, blocky part here. I don't know. I think it's a bit overbearing, even though it's got, you know, the side handle and everything like that, and it's got this little doohickey over here. It's just this block here. This thing is just, I don't know. It's just it's a bit much for me. It's a bit much for me. So I didn't really feel it. Joe Skempsky, Sarge, he's over there on YouTube. He says, Tim, I really think it is time to start resin casting all these awesome weapons you have made and put them up for sale on your site. Oh, man, you know, a lot of people have been saying that, obviously, for a very, very long time. And, you know, part of me is just like, I want to keep my own spin on it. I want to keep my own stuff unique. But, you know, things like, I don't know, maybe like the Dormarsh, you know, the big Gelgoog sword, something like that. Maybe the Mohawk, maybe the, you know, some of the other weapons that we've made. I don't know, maybe. It's a tough subject for me. You know, it's a tough subject for me. Brandon has one more question.
We have a question.
He says, on the barrel for the blaster cannon, how did you scribe the grooves around the tip? So these right here, right? Actually, very simple. What I did, I actually did those first because I knew it wasn't going to be easy to do after the fact. So what I did was before I put all this together, I took the tube, mounted it in here, and used this as kind of a makeshift lathe, right? Let me show you just kind of real quick what I mean here, right? Let's get... Perfect. Here's a little piece of tube, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to mount this right here. We're going to mount this into our drill. And we're not going to tighten this down too much because we don't want the jaws on this to deform the plastic. We just want it in there enough to where it's not going to spin on us or cause any, you know, weirdness or anything. Now, what I'll do is I'll, you know, scribe a line in here, and I'll show you kind of how easy that this is, right? Mind you, it's kind of easy for me because I've been doing this for a while. It may be shit hard for you guys when you first try it out. So go slow, okay? Go slow. So I've got this running in reverse. So this is going counterclockwise at this point, right? Actually, that's not the way I want it. I want that, and I want it running... Actually, yeah, that's counterclockwise. The other way was clockwise. Anyway, so we're going to kind of pull this down here. Now, we're going to start off kind of slow. Just like that. And... there's that. Okay. And that's how you do it. Easy peasy. Now, you can obviously change up the width of things as well. Here's the 0.6, right? And let's see. And there's basically your lines, right? Using a drill like that makes short work of doing something like this. Very, very short work. Now, obviously, you're gonna need to measure your spacing out, and you're gonna need to be very, very careful of when you place the blade of the chisel down. You know, because you want to put it right on your mark the first time, or else you're gonna you're done. Okay, so I was lucky enough to get 3 lines 1 millimeter, approximately 1 millimeter apart right there, and that, you know, kind of sells the look, so to speak. But again, it's just that easy. Now you can also too. Let me show you another thing here real quick. If you see the bevel on that. On the very end, right? We can do that too. Very simply with this, right? I like to go with a sanding block, but you can do this with a, you know, you can scrape it with your hobby knife, all sorts of stuff, right? So start fairly quickly. Keep the block moving. And there you go. Beveled, rounded, all sorts of cool stuff you can do with this thing, right? Easy, easy peasy. Unlock it from the jaws, and there you go. Bada boom, bada bing. Easy stuff. Obviously, you want to clean out the debris on the inside, so just take a little ceramic scraper, your hobby knife, what have you. And there it is. Easy. Easy stuff. Easy stuff. Let's see. Scuffles is over there on Twitch. He says, I hate this rifle you made. Mail it to me so that I can properly dispose of it and then start over and make a better one. You're welcome. Thank you, Scuffles. I appreciate the offer. I really do. But no, I'm going to have to decline. Scuffles says, oh my god, makeshift lathe. I just I guess did the same thing, but used a steak knife because all my hobby blades are dull at the moment. Hey, you know what? Whatever works, I guess, right? If a steak knife did the trick, then why not? Brennan says, thanks. Mike Scars over there says, magic. Brandon says, so easy. I was way overcomplicating that in my head. Colin, Mr. Hi, Craig. He's over there on YouTube. He says, hey, Tim, question. Oh.
We have a question.
Hey, now. He says, what are the pins called for locating your 1 millimeter brass rods? Oh, the, where are they? These little guys. These little deals here. Yeah, these are just locating pins. I got these so damn long ago. I don't honestly even know what brand they are, who they're by, any of that, right? Let me see. I think it was by one of these companies that I have metal parts from. Maybe CJ Hobby. It might have been CJ Hobby. Now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure CJ Hobby has them. So if you look up on well, obviously you're not going to probably get much through them right now, but if you look up their stuff on eBay or Taobao, something like that, I'm probably pretty sure that you're going to find them there. Yeah, all signs point to their CJ Hobby. And they make a ton of other metal parts and stuff, which are really good quality, by the way. They're a Chinese company, so who knows if you can get anything from them right now? I don't know. But yeah, these are just, as far as I recollect, these are just called locating pins. Just these little, focus, there we go. Just these little guys here for just locating, your pins for resin and scratch building and all that good stuff. Usually comes with 5 in a little pack, and I don't even remember how much they were. I think they were a few bucks. So well worth the money, honestly. So hopefully that gets you at least in the right ballpark there, Colin. Let's see. Ow, son of a... I got shocked. Little Stream Deck son of a bitch shocked me. Asshole. That hurt. I don't know about y'all. Anyway, Andrew's got a question.
We have a question.
He says, are you going to make a new Hyper Bazooka or some badass melee weapon for the RX? No melee weapon for the RX, no, but the bazooka, yes. We are going to do something with that. I kind of started hacking away on this thing, and that's all I got so far. I hated that bell end look to it. Just stupid. At least in my opinion, it was stupid looking. So, ditching that and gonna do something different. All I did with this is I just kind of found a tube that would telescope into the main tube here. But I don't want to leave it looking like this. It's gonna have something else going on. But very, very, very initial stages with that. So don't even worry about that right now. But yeah, we're gonna work on the Hyper Bazooka and kind of do something with that. But before we do that, we gotta finish this guy, right? We gotta do something with this. So let's see. Julius Dembski says your Jesta build is sweet. I'm looking forward to seeing more updates. Definitely. Edward Leonard, he's over there on YouTube. I guess he found his bourbon because it's back to just Edward Leonard now, right? So that's good. That's good to see. Edward, you found your bourbon? Did you? Cool. Steven Zarzecki's over there on YouTube as well, and he's got a question for us. Hopefully I don't get shocked again.
We have a question.
There we go. He says, Tim, any tips on using retarder with Mr. Color paints? So what you want to... I don't have any in here. No, what you want to use is Mr. Leveling Thinner, right? That obviously is going to have a retarder in it, and adding Mr. Color Leveling or Mr. Leveling Thinner to any of your Mr. Color paints or Tamiya paints is just going to inherently make them better, right? They're going to level smoother. They're going to just look so much better. And that's the only thinner I use on Mr. Color, Tamiya, all that. Yeah. It's amazing stuff. Well worth the money. A little goes a long way, obviously. And yeah, when you get it, stock up on it because it sells out very, very fast because it is that good. So, there we go. Edward says, as a machinist, I used to have sets of those pins, but they were threaded. We called them transfer screws. Interesting. Okay. Okay. And obviously they were probably much bigger too, right? Edward says, yes, the bourbon is found. And again, getting low. Aww. Nice. So yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. Steven Zozeki says, thank you. You're welcome. Ricky Paul Carlson says, I don't have a question, so build something cool. Okay. Enhance your calm, Ricky. All right. So let's strip this thing down, shall we? Get that off of there. That off there. That off there. And then, oops, let's get the barrel. This little side thing going there. And then we need to carefully yank these two wires here. Like that. Like that. And then that little sumbitch will pop off right there. And there you go. There's the fully scratch-built little laser cannon launcher thingy. All right, so let's put all that stuff off to the side. And let's get to work here, yeah? Edward Leonard says, pushy, right? And then Ricky Paul Carlson says, LOL, love you, brother. I don't love you. You son of a... No, I'm kidding. It's all good. No, I wanted to get to work on this thing anyway. So, first things first. We need to address this large, just, like, field of nothingness here. It's like the freaking Sahara Desert right here. This big block of just open space, right? And you know me in open space. I am not with it. I do not do open spaces very well. I like to pack them full of detail. Found some super glue that we needed to trim down here, so let's get that. That's gonna cause fitment issues if we don't. Anyway, this side is gonna be covered up, obviously, for the most part, with that right there. So that's not a big deal on that side, right? But that's more the issue here. This here. So that's what I want to tackle first tonight. Okay? R4 says, dang it, Tim, making me laugh when I'm using a sharp knife again. Hey, you know, turnabout's fair play over here, Andrew, because, like, I had the chisel in my hand, and Pabs did the super chat earlier in the day, and I was just kind of like almost impaled myself with it, right? So if I got to go through it, you got to go through it. Let's see. Mike Skyer says, but the eye needs a place to rest. I get it. And that's very, very true. And there will be plenty of places for the eye to rest on this thing. But if we leave this pure blank, remember, this is going to be one solid... forget that this little white piece is here going like that. This is going to be one completely solid, flat, open surface. That is going to be a absolutely gaping anomaly when compared to everything else. So we got to do something here to just busy this up a bit. Just a bit, right? You know, there's going to be enough back here, and there's going to be enough up front here, and even, you know, on the top and everything like that. And don't forget, the scope is somewhat sparse on details right now too, so I do want to add a little bit to that here tonight, is just to kind of tie that together. But we need to tackle this first, right? Absolutely. So what I'm thinking, mag goes up in here, and if this is, say, a battery or a power cell or core or what have you, brings power up into this main section. And, you know, who knows? Maybe there's a fusion reactor or some shit like that in there. I don't know. I'm not a freaking scientist here, right? Theoretically. But, as it would happen, I think that mechanics, maintenance people, engineers, whoever, would need to get into this kind of compartment right there to service any sort of power connections and all that jazz, right? Kind of goes without saying. So what I'm thinking is this. A pretty extreme perimeter scribe. And man, this thing is, it's, I sanded it so smooth that it's not even taking the graphite. So we're going to need to scuff this thing up a bit. There we go. That's much better. So, like I said, a fairly extreme perimeter scribe here, right almost to the edge. Just kind of like that, right? Good starting off point. It's a good starting base. Now, let's see. Brandon says the big open spot is begging for a big decal. You know, I don't like big decals on weapons. It's just not. It's not. In my opinion, it's not a good look. Right? You want the teeny tiny ones to sell that illusion of scale, right? He says, oh, those 4 tabs coming off the big sight on the right side could mimic them on the other side. 4 tabs on the west. I don't know what you're talking about, dude. It's symmetrical on both sides, so I don't know. Anyway, Mike Skyer says, a wee bit. Bahat 89 says working laser sight. That's the scope. Yeah. Rika Park Carson says, hey Tim, you added that skull on the hilt of the Mohawk as a unique signature. Would something added in that spot of the rifle be too much? I think so for this, because obviously this is more Fetty. You know, it's not really in that skull variety of things, right? You know, on a melee weapon, that kind of a little bit more expected. On a firearm, not too much. Andrew says too small for a fusion reactor, most likely a condenser. Okay. Maybe Amuro's signature 4 thing work. Again, I'm not too into the big decals on weapons, right? And definitely not like insignias or anything like that on weapons, because that just looks weird, right? In my opinion, anyways. In my opinion. We've got a question. Written Wisely says, are you going to use black primer on it since everything will be black? Also, is it possible to put gray on black primer, or would it be too dark? No, not at all. I paint light colors over dark colors all the time, and I never have a real issue with it. Sometimes, especially if it's like white over black, then you got to put down like, you know, a coat or two, right? But in my experience, I've never really had a problem with it. Now, mind you, if it's like red or something like that, and you're trying to lay down yellow, then that might shift the hue of it just a bit. So in that case, you may want to lay down a coat of white and then put yellow on top of that. But no, for something like this, I would prime this normal gray like I always do, and then paint it black, or, well, not black, but like a tire black, or you know, like a charcoal or something along those lines, right? So that's what we'll be doing. William Wim says that they open that hatch on the rifle and find the flux capacitor XL. Hey, R4 too small for a fusion reactor. Oh yeah, we already read that. Most likely condensers for the Happy Nanner. fair enough. Pabs is over there on YouTube. He says, the concentration on this man. Hey, you got to concentrate. Bill, Mr. Ruslam says, what about an inset circular detail similar to the butt of the Origin rifle? I see what you're saying. Right there. That's not bad. That's not a bad look. And throwing a circular detail in there probably would mix it up a little bit and make it interesting. Yeah, so I'm definitely game for that. But I think what we're going to end up doing is layering some stuff on this and really kind of bringing the depth a little bit on this piece while still keeping it somewhat simple, believe it or not, right? Edward Lerner says, unfortunately I have to work at my kitchen table, then I have to have a fold-out table to set up my spray booth on when I paint, but they are both being used by sewing machines, probably going out of my mind. I hope not, Leonard. Shit. Brandon says, on the big round sight you pegged on to the right side. Oh, like on a big decal on that? I don't know. Steven Zarzecki, what about the two small trapezoidal shapes on either side of the white stripe instead of a perimeter panel line? So this white stripe here is actually just a filler piece of plastic. This just fills out this gap so it's nice and it's just nice and a flat surface, right? So this is all the same level. This is all flat. Imagine, just suspend disbelief and imagine that this is all just gray, right? That's it. It's just one flat level. Let's see. Edward says, hence the extended bourbon drinking. Nice. Pab says, gray-black primers will always affect brighter colors, making them duller, i.e. red on gray/black primer, but a gray will not be affected. I don't find it to be that crazy of a shift. I mean, you can notice it, but I don't get overly concerned with it because I like dull colors anyways on my mobile suits, so I'd never hesitate to spray a light color over a dark color, honestly. Never ever. Let's see. Bill says dark primer will just bleed through the paint a bit to make the color slightly darker. Sometimes depends on how much paint you lay down though too, you know, and if you have good coverage and everything. Written Wisely says, thanks for that. At the moment, I use white primers because I'm trying to brighten the colors, but for a future project, I was thinking of using black and mahogany primers. Now, mahogany, or even a brown primer, will make your warmer tones, you know, your oranges, your reds, your yellows, and stuff like that, even warmer at that point. So that definitely does shift the tonal value of colors. Brandon says, lost in translation. LOL, good. Yeah, nah, yeah. Chris Pab says, if you're looking for muted colors, then that will absolutely work. Max Watanabe uses this method to great effect. Yeah, he has basically pre-shading in that kind of center panel style is basically Max Watanabe's. That was basically his technique. It's called the Max technique, right? So if you don't know what it is, it's laying down a coat of black or black primer, and then taking your base color, and just starting in the middle of said panel and then radiating out. That is the Max technique. He coined that, God, back in the 90s, something like that. Yeah. Let's see here. Pab says, as a painter that uses a lot of pastel colors with contrast, I notice big differences. Well, yeah. Pabby, you use light colors, so that's not overly surprising, right? Wilson Alanea is over there on Facebook. He says gray or dark gray primers just change the tone slightly, not really dull it. Exactly. Compared to white, since the paint is not totally opaque. There you go. Wilson, we're right here, buddy. Edward Leonard says my color, Mr. Color, will cover anything I use mahogany on my Mecha. Yeah, Mr. Color is great. The concentration of pigment in Mr. Color is just phenomenal in my opinion. So that's kind of, I don't know, maybe that's just why I have such luck with it. With laying lighter colors over darker colors. Maybe it's just the paint I use. I don't know. Maybe I have a heavy hand. Who knows? Superset5's over there on Twitch. He says I use black primer almost all the time. I like how it makes the brighter colors more rich. There you go. Pab says if you're wanting to brighten your colors, I'd recommend using a pink surfacer on your yellows and reds, making them brighter while staying truer to the color. Written wisely, that's great to hear about brown primers because I was actually thinking of using it for a flesh, and that's what I thought the result would be. Oh yeah, for something like that, yeah, putting down a brown primer, oh that'll make the skin tones pop and everything. Yeah, 100%. And then what you want to do, and mind you guys, I'm not a figure painter at all, but what I've seen a lot of figure painters do is lay down brown. Like a brown primer, and then a very kind of darker, tannish skin tone, and then work lights up and build that depth of color, and it looks really, really good. And then what I've seen a couple guys do is before their very, very last shade of skin tone, I'll see them go in with kind of like a medium blue and like paint in the veins and stuff like that, and then your final coat, your final skin tone will cover that up just slightly, but it'll those slight blue veins in your arm right there, will kind of show through a little bit, and it's just a wicked effect. And then you get some stippling in there and stuff like that, and then it pops. Sideshow Collectibles has a wonderful painting series about painting skin tones and stuff like that. And there was one lady that did this Harley Quinn head for one of their figures, one of their master figures, and it was just phenomenal looking. Like, it looked, aside from the sculpt, the skin tones and everything just looked dead on. I was just absolutely blown away by it. Just so impressive and so freaking talented. Like, insane levels of skill. Let's see. Ty Furious says you're going to want a primer, then base coat a gloss black before metallics. Definitely. Bill says most metallics you will. Oh, did I miss a question? Yes, I did. Sorry, Space Rat. Here we go.
We have a question.
Actually, I missed a bunch of them. Sorry about that. But Space Rat, he wants to, let's see. Speaking of primers, how can different color primers affect gold or metallics in general? The primers I don't think would really affect too much. But like everybody was saying, a nice gloss black before your metallics will really make them pop. And you want to make sure that gloss is kind of like a high finish gloss, like a really nice shiny finish, because that's just going to make those metallics just come to life. It's kind of crazy. Let's see. Zach Bleich is over there, Mr. Galactic Toys. What's up, Zach? Good to see you, buddy. Let's see. Let's motor through this because you guys are talking up a ton tonight, and I want to try and do some work because it's already 11:04. Jeez. Let's see. This is going to Chris Pab says this is going to sound odd, but after your mahogany primer, hit with a light layer of purple and blue and red to give your flesh depth. Okay, yeah, and that totally makes sense. Like the folks on Sideshow Collectibles, the one lady that I was talking about hit the skin tones with a blue filter, which was just crazy to me because it seeped in and it just kind of toned it toned down the warmth of the skin tone a bit, and it was just freaking magical. It was wild to look at. I highly, highly, highly recommend, if you are into figure painting and stuff like that, go check those videos out. Sideshow Collectibles. Just amazing amounts of talent. Written Wisely says, love Sideshow, my inspiration for sure. Nice. Nice. Edward Leonard says, you need blue and greens and purples for skin tones. Doesn't make sense, but it works. Yeah, no, absolutely. Bill says skin tones are a minimum of 7 different colors and uneven coverage of those colors. Yeah, it's disgusting how wide of a range of colors are in skin tones. It's just weird. Written Wisely says, no, it doesn't sound odd. I'm a fan of Sideshow, and I've seen all of the washes that they do. Yeah, it's crazy. Wilson Alanea is over there on Facebook. He says, the best primer for metallics are black primers. Make sure you prep it to make it gloss. Absolutely. And he says, then lay a gloss black base makes things easy rather than regular primers, then gloss black. Boom. Space Rat has another question.
We have a question.
Let's say I don't exactly want a high gloss finish on the metal paint. What are some other effects I can do? So what I really love is, lay down your metallics like you would any of them, right? And then hit that metallic with maybe like a nice clear color or something like that. And then hit it with a nice satin finish. Like that, right? Now this is just something I tested. This is just obviously a test spoon, right? But as you can see, the metallic is actually, this is copper. This is alclad copper with a clear red over top of it. And the red, it just comes to absolute life, right? And then with the nice matte finish over top of that, oh, that's just, it's a sick look. I love this, right? And I've kept this spoon just because, number one, I love the alclad copper. It's just absolutely insane. But then you put that red clear over top of it, oh, and it's just freaking beautiful, isn't it? Look at that. And it's so, especially at the edges of the color, it's just so kind of warm and rich where the highlights are. And it just pops that red like nobody's business. And it's just an absolutely wonderful, and especially in the curves here, when the highlights and the shadows, how that just all radiates. Can you imagine this on a Sazabi? Come on now. Or Sinanju, for that matter. Or Ribawu. Or a highly kicked-ass, customized, remixed Zaku. Yeah. So I love that look. That matte finish on a metallic is just, I love that look. So if you wanna try something crazy, do something like that. It's a good look, man. It's a good look. Let's see here. Bill says you can run a very fine sandpaper over the metallic in a singular direction before spraying top coat. Will give it a brushed appearance. That's a great idea as well. Mike Skyer says that is a beautiful spoon. Zach Bleich says, wow, that's beautiful. Thank you, guys. Zach continues, says, would have never guessed that was copper with clear red. Oh, yeah. Zach says, is the red clear alclad as well? No, that's actually Mr. Color clear red. Go figure, right? Edward says, rose gold would look awesome with that too, Tim. 100%. I just happen to like, and rose gold is kind of the same way. Actually, I think I have some thinned right here. Yeah. See, this is, let me mix this up and kind of show you guys here real quick. This is the Mr. Color Rose Gold, and this is really my favorite gold tone of theirs. It's just it's absolutely kind of gorgeous, and it goes on just so insanely smooth. And you can see on the lid here where it's kind of dried, it's just super smooth. That pigment and the particles and everything, just they line up and everything looks great, right? So I love that rose gold. That would definitely have that same type of effect, but I love the alclad copper so much. That is like one of my favorite colors to lay down, and I try to use it like all the time on things. It's just, yeah, the color is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Sorvan says, well, now I have spoons to paint. There you go. Mike Skyler says, I saw it on a wound wart and it was real cute. Chris Pabs, Ryan Bartoletti did this with his Sinanju. Looks awesome. Check it out. CML, thanks for giving me my paint on the Suzabi. You're welcome, man. Andrew says, I'll leave all metallic kits to others. I love metallics for highlights. There you go. Superset or a RX remix you really should get to working on. Hey. Badumts. Right? Let's see. Space Rat says, what brands provide good satin finishes? Oh, Mr. Super Clear. Semi-gloss. Love it. Absolutely love it. Terry T says, did anyone catch the Bluefin live stream a few hours ago? A little bit of it. Yeah, it was, I think they were doing it on their Common Rider stuff. I was only able to catch the first few seconds of it, and then I had to kind of bounce. Zach Fleisch says, I caught part of it. Bill says, nope. Anything interesting? Zach says, supposed to announce something later this week about GBWC. Terry T says, okay, cool, I missed that part. Thank you, Zach. Edward Leonard says, I have an awesome rose gold. I think it's from Korea. I'll find its name and post it. There you go. Sweet. Excellent. All right, so back to this thing. Let's go. Let's get started here, shall we? Now, like I said, I kind of want to do a couple different levels on this thing. And what I'm thinking is have kind of a nice big strip of plastic down here like this, right? And then let's see, we'll clip it right about there, right? So a nice big strip of plastic right there at the corners, right? And we'll trim, son of a, I didn't mean to do that. And we'll trim this to fit properly here in a little bit. So suspend disbelief for just a few seconds. Now, I really liked Bill's idea of having a little circular detail there, right? So what I'm thinking, maybe this dude here. What's this guy look like? Yeah, I kind of like that look. Let's clip that, and that, and then let's see. We can kind of put this guy like maybe up there, something like that, right? I kind of dig it. And then what we could do, come on, you little shit, turn over, there you go. But that's not what I want to use, so we're gonna put you back over there, you little bastard. I want a little bit of variety in this, right? A little bit of variety. Variety is a spice of life. Don't ever let anyone tell you different. So let's see what we got in here. Let's dig in the crates a little bit and see what we got. What's this? Ah, come here, you little bastard. Right there. And you... Will you fit in there? I don't know. I don't know if you'll fit or not. Let's try it. Let's try this. Let's see if this will fit in here. I think it will. Ooh, yeah. There we go. Very nice. See, I like that. I kind of like that stacked circular look right there. I think that's a good look. And then maybe this little guy. I think that's too big. We'll put him off to the side there. Where's my resin stuff? It's over here. Let's dig into that. Well, that's unfortunate. All right. We'll get to that later. All right. So, digging in the Greebly box here. Let's see what we can find. Anything maybe positive, good, anything nice. What's this right here? It's not too bad. It's probably too big. Yeah, see, most of these little details are probably going to be a little bit too big. Yeah. Yeah. See, these are a bit big, so we're not gonna mess with those. Get back over there. But let's see here. What we will do. No, not you. Not you. Here we go. Is this it? No. Not that one either. No. Let's see. Here we go. I think this will be good. And basically what we're doing is we're shooting for asymmetry, right? Because asymmetry on this thing will undoubtedly look the best. Okay. And then that little guy right there, kind of like that, right? So that's starting to get there, but I think we can do a little bit better. Maybe move this guy off to the side here, kind of like that. No, nothing there. Nothing there. Let's see what this is all about here. No, where's the... Let's see, where's the... Where are those little parts? No, none of these. Trying for a variety here, you guys. Here we go. Something like this. Do I have one of these over there? No, it doesn't look like it. Okay, cool. Shit. Figures. Where are those little grabby tweezers? Here they are. Maybe something like that. So far, I like this. So far, I like this. It's a work in progress. Alright, idea time. Let's dump that there, okay? And then what we'll do, instead of, this is what, quarter? Is this quarter or is this half? This is quarter, right? No, that's half mil. Okay. So we'll actually keep this. That's good. Let's... Okay, let's get this traced up here. Hang tight just a second here, you guys. Okay. All right, so there's our cutting template for this piece, right? Let's lay this down. You know what? Here, let's do this. Let's get the 1, 2, 3 blocks in here. This is going to help elevate this thing and help us to apply this template a little bit easier, right? Okay, so there's that. So now we've got a good cutting template for this, right? So first and foremost, we're going to trim the excess tape. That's first. But just by a little bit, obviously. And then we'll go through and trim this piece to the proper dimensions, okay? That will be first. So there's that. Okay, so let's get this back in here, and then all right, here's that nice and centered. Much better. Good, good, good. All right, so this will come up right about there. Okay. So what we're going to do, hold that in place. All right, so there's our little cutout for this thing, right? So what we can do, grab our little mini Dremel, and now we can gently carve this little bit out. we'll stop there with that. Bulk of the work is done there. Okay. And now, trim the debris left over from the process, right? And let's see how that matches up. Nicely. Very, very nicely. Okay. Little refinement here. Let's get our half round file here. And we just need to lower the bottom of this just slightly here, right? Okay, let's see what that looks like now. No, let's still need to go kind of go to town on this thing a little bit here, yeah? Let's see. There we go. Much, much better. That fits really good. All right. Sweet. All right, so that gets us our beginning stages of this. Let's see here. Just like that, right? Looks pretty good. And then this little guy. Right there. And then, let's see. Come on. Something like that to start with, okay? Now, we're going to need to add some other level differences here. I think I know what I want to do. Let's see. What is this? Is this half mil? Yes. Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful, 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 wonderful. All right. And chop that. Just something pretty simple. Okay. And let's see. We're going to get... Get a little something here. And let's see. Like that. Just something like that to start off with, right? These are going to be our shapes, right? But then, you know, we'll add some. I think what we'll end up doing is adding some chiseling and stuff like that. Maybe some sculpting, and kind of make this thing look pretty nice. Yeah. Let's get caught up with the chat. Yeah. Yeah, Andrew's definitely right. He's so absorbed at the moment that someone will have to super chat him. Right? No, I mean, I kind of was. It's just like, you get in the zone, so to speak, right? Let's see, where do we leave off? Mike Skyers says, do we know for sure the GBWC is happening this year? Yeah, we don't know anything. We still don't know. Let's see. Edward Leonard says it's Moto Metallic Color MX11 Rose Gold 18 mil. Once you see it, you will understand why it's different. Gotcha. Mike Skyer says I'd put the circles toward the back of that section. I don't know. I kind of like it up front. I kind of like that. I kind of like the look of it. Let's see. Bill says there is a lot of different speculations on GBWC, everything from full cancel, online only, a single convention, etc. Yeah. We'll see, right? RF Aurora, Andrew's got a question. He says, are you going to make any of those circles be able to take in an external power connection from the suit itself, or a second suit to increase its power output? No, nothing like that. It's just mechanical look, right? Airs 385 says we don't know anything. We don't know yet if it's going to happen this year. Yeah. Brandon says my Zona pin vise and Dremel collets are finally on their way. Ordered them once before and Amazon refunded me for some reason. Weird. Bill says if they originated in China or Japan, all the orders were refunded and the product returned. Yeah. Just one possibility. Space Rat says, well, from what I know, for the moment, Japan is only suggesting stay at home to its people, so they don't, they haven't gone into complete shutdown order for most businesses. Julia says, Tim, maybe a recessed detail on that panel. Potentially. Let's see. Rusham says, or an angled one, like with a wedge-shaped stand under a flat detail. Maybe. Chris Pab says, ain't super chatting this time. I learned my lesson earlier. Yeah, where I almost cut myself, right? Bill says, yeah, Pab's learned to wait until he is using a hobby knife, right? Pab says, at least a chisel, Bill. Have class, right? There you go. Yeah, fun times. Robbie, look at that. Robbie Umbar is over there on the Mech Army Facebook group. He says, hi, Tim. What's up, Robbie? Good to see you, buddy. Yeah, so far, I'm liking this. And mind you guys, this is, as of right this second, just a kind of a bare bones type of look, right? Just a very, very, very bare bones. We're going to do this up and make it look nice. But I like what I see so far. Although, let's see something here. No, don't like that. Nope, don't like that either. Where'd that one go? Here's this. Okay. I think what we do is this. All right, so what we do, take out this little guy, right? And then let's see if I got anything over here that's halfway decent. No, not really. Okay, so take out that little square guy, right? And then this little dude can kind of go right there, right? Just like that. And then this little guy. Where are we going to put him? I don't know. Maybe just leave it simple like that. Okay, I know what we're doing. I know what we're doing. I know what we're doing. We're going to leave it simple like that. We're just going to leave it like that. This is bare bones. This is what we're doing right now, okay? So, let's get these two pieces married up first. Yeah. Okay. Let's do this straight out the gate. Shit, come on, you. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Okay. Get these two pieces glued up first. Just like that. And then we'll get, let's see, here it is. We'll get the top evened up, flattened, all that good stuff. Make that look like one solid piece here, right? Okay, that looks good there. And we use our 600 sanding block. Perfect. And we'll do the same thing to the sides here. Good. And good. All right, so now what we'll do is we'll put that off to the side. Make some minor alterations to this. I'm going to bevel the corners just a bit. There we go. Just like that. Looks good. Yeah, I like it. All right, so let's start gluing this stuff down because I have a good idea of what I want to do here at this point. So for this big piece here, we are going to need to use plastic magic because I don't want to risk misaligning this. So this is a fairly large sheet of plastic, but it's kind of just one of those things that you're gonna have to bite the bullet on, unfortunately. Okay. Let's make sure we got our alignment good. Good there. All right, that looks pretty decent. Okay. So, a couple things that we're going to need to do is trim off these two back edges just a hair. Okay, now that looks pretty good. Just like that. Excellent. All right, so now, let me see something here. What size is that? Isn't that roughly the same size? Yeah, it is. Okay, cool. So, let's see. Exact same size. Excellent. All right. We're going to go in a bit of a different direction for that little round circle deal, okay? What we're going to do is we're going to change it up just a bit. And we're going to use one of these little minus molds here. And I love the look of these things because they are really just a nice mechanized mechanical look, right? So let's clean up the nubs on this guy here. Just like that. All right, so now we don't need to use plastic magic anymore for any of this. We can just go back to our super glue, right? Now, this will fit right up in there just like that, and I think that's a better look. Now, I don't want this to be you know, flat like that, so we're gonna turn that just a little bit at an angle, and I like that minus on its angle, on an angle, just a bit, right? Just a little bit. So we're gonna keep it just like that, and we're gonna pop a little super glue on this sumbitch. Just like that. Get it all over there, and we will place that right up in that little holster in the plastic there. Yeah. Yeah. Now, one other little thing that I'm seeing here is a bit of unevenness on this cut. We can do a little bit better. There we go. Much more parallel to that edge. Perfect. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to place this little guy here, and we're going to get a little super glue on the top. A little right there. Perfect. And let's see. Let's get him placed ever so carefully right there. Yeah. Yeah. That's going to look nice. That's going to look nice. Okay, so there's the beginning parts, okay? And then let's get this little roundy bit here. Okay. And let's clean the nubbins on this. Okay, get the other side here. Okay. Alrighty then. Let's get that. Ooh, don't drop it. Don't drop it. That would be bad. That would be super bad. Alright, just a little pop of super glue right there. Let's get a little bit of that excess off of that, and then this will get placed right up against big old daddy circle there. Just like that. Okay. There are the positive details. Okay? The raised details, if you will. And we're going to stop there. We're going to stop there on the raised bits. Now we're gonna cut back in and kind of do some negative looking details, some subtraction of the material, if you will. So let's get hydrated. Hoo-ah. Let's see. Bill says, oh, we already read that. Robert O, chances are New York Comic Con probably will get canceled or need to be relocated since the Javits Center's pretty much a field hospital right now. Yeah. RF Aurora says, you guys are evil. That's okay. Bill says, as they said in the 80s, every single one of us has a devil inside. Whew. In excess. What a reference. RF Aurora says, pretty sure mine sacrificed himself to protect me from the chemotherapy I had as a toddler. Ooh, bad. Mike Skyers says, ooh, what do you think of having a wire come out of the smaller circle into the bottle shape on the side? Not really. I think two wires on the other one is probably enough for this little bit. So I'm probably gonna avoid that. Yeah. Brian says, "Oh my God, it's gorgeous." What's up, Brian? Everlearner says, "I pick up a round part in the same fucking tweezers and it shoots across the room." Dude, you gotta be. It comes down to luck, you know? It comes down to luck. Brandon says, just realized I was on my world emails account. Oh, yeah, I know. Like, it was, I thought you work email. Yeah, I thought you had changed your screen name there for Brandon. Shit. That's okay, though. All right, so everything's glued up, looking good, in place, all that good stuff. Now... Okay, so one thing that I want to do here, in addition, is to trim that corner off there. I think that looks pretty good. And then what we're also going to do is pop that corner right there in the same fashion. Yeah. Now... do we want to pop that corner? That's the big question. I think we do. I think we want to go ahead and slice that corner. Yeah. Yep, that's the look. That's the look we're going for. Okay, so now to come up with some subtractive style details for this thing. Okay. Now, one thing that we're definitely going to do, excuse me, is first and foremost we've got to clean up the super glue squeeze out on this square bit here. Okay, that needs to happen before anything else right now. Woo. Okay, that looks good there. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to perimeter scribe this raised block thingy, and we're going to make that all look separated and all that good stuff, and then we're going to add some scribing notches and all sorts of fun stuff on this. There we go. This little corner piece here. Okay. For that, we're going to need to get in here with a little bit more precision. Just like that, and then same thing with this other little corner here. We're going to need to pop in there with the chisel. Kind of do it this way, kind of old school. Okay, just like that. All right, so with that being said, let's get this thing outlined here. Now for this outline, we're going to go ahead and use 0.15, okay? Because, shit, come on you. There's still a little super glue on that edge. That's why it's all funky. There we go. Now we got it. But I want this to be to look separate, but I don't want a huge separation line like some of the other parts that, you know, we've kind of tried to separate. Looks good there. Connect those two, and last line here. Not even on camera? I don't even know. Sorry guys, this is what happens kind of when I get in the zone of thinking, and kind of the ideas start flowing and all of that. It's just I completely zone out, right? Let's reinforce these lines, get these to a nice depth. Okay. That looks pretty good. Very nice and separated looking. I dig it. I dig it. All right, so now what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to bevel the outside of this this raised piece here, right? So we're going to start with the top surface. All right, so now the next part we need to be super careful going around the bottom of these because one little slip up will scratch the surface of the lower plate. Alright, last surface here. Okay. Pretty good. I like that. That's nice. Let's get caught up here real quick because I know I've been neglecting you guys here for a while. Let's see. Excuse me. Brandon says, yeah, I'm going to order 2 of the mold rubber kits Tim has on his Amazon page and 1 of the resin kits, so gotta allocate money slowly to that with everything going on, trying to save every penny, no doubt, right? Oh, Julius's resin arrived today. That's awesome, right? Seth Boyd says, which build is this? This is GBWC, so this, we're working on the beam rifle for this remixed RX-78, right? Brian says, Timmy, no pay attention or speak, LOL, right? Mike Skyer says, zone out, it's awesome to see how meticulous you are working. Oh, thank you, man. Let's see, Seth Boyd, can you build up detail with styrene sheeting? Absolutely, man. Like you saw here. See it? It's got two different level differences there, right? So you got this base plate here, which raises off of the base of the rifle itself, and then you've got a raised bit there, which even adds more vertical variance, right? Yeah. Let's see. Brandon says the white pieces are added on styrene. Yep. Seth Boyd says I bought some sheets a few years ago, and I've been trying to figure out something I could use it for. Oh, dude. You could always build something like this, right? But again, I mean, it's takes practice, right? Takes practice. He says maybe I can build some armor. I don't know. Sam L says if you can't think of anything, you can send to me. Oh, hey. GV Earl, he's over there on Facebook. He says, what brand is your .15 knife? This is BMC Suji. Whoa, that was almost bad. BMC Suji Borido. Yeah, that's kind of most of my chisels. Bill says, if you can imagine it with patience and skill, you can build it. The styrene you have can be used however you want. Exactly. Seth, what I would say is if you want to get into scratch building and stuff like that, the first true test is to make a cube. A perfect cube on all sides. If you can do that, then everything else just kind of falls into place, really, right? Now, mind you, a perfect cube on all sides is probably more difficult than you can think. Because you have to allocate for several different things when making a cube. It's not just slapping 6 sides together and calling it a day. Yeah, and the 90-degree corners are probably going to be the least of your worries, trust me. But making it completely equilateral on all sides, all dimensions, a perfect cube, trust me, that's harder than it sounds. Harder than it sounds. Terry T says, challenge accepted, ha ha ha. But Terry, you freaking scratch built a scaled up Natchin tank. You don't... No. You're disqualified, sir. You're no beginner. Get out of here. Alright. So, next up, let's see. Will this fit? And the answer is no, it will not fit. Okay, so back to the drawing board. Let's see. That's too much. Okay. So... All right. Now, this is the big question. Should we go absolutely crazy? It's 12:01. Let's get crazy. Let's get crazy with this. Now, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a little sculpting. Okay, we're gonna do a little sculpting here. That's too much. That would be perfect if it fit. Son of a bitch. That may be good. Let's see what this looks like here. Okay. Alright. So bear with me here for a few seconds, guys, because we need to plot this out. Just like that. Hey, thanks for the follow. What was that? Share me up. Something like that. Oh, I missed it. Let's see. Damn it. Anyway, I missed it. Anyway, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Mecha Army. You got one of these. Hey. All right. So, you guys, let's, what we're going to do, we're going to get a little nutty here. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to scribe in a wire. Or a tube or something like that. We're going to physically scribe that in. Okay? Trust me. Trust me. Alright, so we need these scribing jigs here. 4 and 4.8. Okay? So let's start with the 4 first and foremost. Let's get that cut in. Okay. So there's that first line. That's what we're going to base everything off of. Okay. Now, we're going to make sure everything's nice and straight. Yep, and it looks good there. Okay. Get these lines reinforced. Get these things connected. That's step one to this process. Now, when I mean we're going to sculpt in a tube, we're going to shape this thing, we're going to do everything to it, and we're going to make this look like a rounded over hose within, basically sunk in to this plate. Okay? So, that's the intent. Now, whether we can pull this off or not remains to be seen. But we're going to give it our damnedest, right? That's what we always do. Now, a little bit of super glue squeeze out around this little round mold that we got to take care of here. Let's get that out of the way first, yeah? Just like that. Alright, so now, excuse me, we've reinforced this line. Make sure everything is properly connected here, right? Because that's the other important thing. Now, what we're going to do, since this is 0.5 millimeter strip that we've got laid down here, we're going to cut all the way through this because we're probably going to need all the depth that we can get out of this. Okay, so we're going to go until we hit the base gun, and that'll become apparent here in as to why in later steps that we do. Okay. Now, the glue under here is still very tacky and soft and gooey and just kind of crap right now, but not a huge deal because we just need to get that crud cleaned out of this line. Okay. all that nastiness out of here. It's all just basically molten plastic underneath right now because that plastic magic just, you know, pretty much dissolved everything underneath here. And it's still obviously curing. And it's going to take a while for it to cure. This is a rather large strip of plastic compared to most, you know? So, we're almost done getting all this crud out of here. And that's looking pretty good. Let's get that line cleared out there. Alright, so here's the first little bit. Now we've got to angle this line up into the smaller little detail here. I'm going to go right about like that. Perfect. Okay. Now same thing. We got to clear out all this goo, plastic goo out of here. That cleaned up first. Our line's not looking too bad. Okay, now clear that out. Not bad, not bad. The corners are going to be the hardest part to clean out properly, but kind of the most important, because we need nice clean corners to make this whole situation work, right? Alright. That's looking pretty good. That line is looking decent. It doesn't have to look great right now because we're going to sculpt a lot of this detail in, right? So that's not a huge deal. Now, what we got to do is we got to go to 4.8. And let's clear off. There's a little bit of super glue on this end that we need to just take off there. And now we should be in good shape. Much better. Much, much better. Okay, so now we'll scribe in our corresponding line. Ever so carefully there. You know what? That's a little too thin for my likeness. So, let's see what 6.3 looks like. Well, that'll just overtake everything, so no, that ain't gonna work. All right, so what we are now going to need to do is freehand this secondary line. We just basically trapped ourselves into it. Okay, not a problem. We can do this. We can do this. Okay, so let's see. Let's try to hold one of these these up here like this and use this as a guide. Yeah? I think that'll work. I don't think I don't really want to try and scribe this line like this. Okay. Let's see what that looks like. Is that straight? Not completely. It's not completely straight. All right. So, what we're going to do, we're going to have to break down and use tape. Womp womp. All right. All right. So, about there. Yep, that looks good. All right, so now this will give us a decent line to cut over here. Whoa. Charles? Damn it. Thank you. $10 super chat. He says, can I get him while he's freehanding? You didn't get me while I was freehanding, no. But definitely got me while I was concentrating, that's for damn sure. Alright, so that should be better. And yeah, I think that's See, now that I look at this, it's just not coming out straight. Not coming out straight at all, you guys. I'm kind of frustrating myself here a little bit. So I want to show you this technique, but I don't know if this is the piece to do it on, to be honest with you. We're going to set that aside. We're going to set that aside. Okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to do it on another piece. Okay? We're going to do this on another piece. Let's get a piece of scrap here, shall we? Let's see. Just a decently thick little piece of, look, there's a comparison sheet of plastic. Go figure, right? Alright, let's see. Here we go. I think, no, that's not going to work. Son of a bitch. No. That'll work. Kind of a trash little piece of plastic there. That'll be nice, yeah. We're gonna put the comparison thing off to the side so we can find that at a later date. So, all right. So now, what we're gonna do, like I said before, we need we're gonna carve in a hose, right? I'm going to show you how to do this. This should hopefully go a lot easier because it's not nearly as small, not nearly as intricate as a piece as the other portion there, right? What I'm probably going to do is fill that with super glue and do something a bit different because it's just was not going, unfortunately, the way that I wanted. Just one of those things, right? Just one of those things. So we're going to go in a little bit of a different direction. Not a big deal. And what we're going to do, we're going to cut a little strip like that. And where is the 1.5? Here we go. All right, so this is 1.5 millimeter. And we're going to make several different, several strips of this, right? Where's the L square? Made such a mess over here, I can't even find everything. Oh, there it is. All right, so we're going to use the L square to hold the tape right up against the cutting, or the stop block here. And now we got a nice little strip of 1.5 millimeter. We're going to cut a few of these. Just like that. And that should be good. All right, so let's do this. We're going to bring in our little plate here, right? And we are going to pull the backing strip off of that. And we're just going to lay this down just kind of like that, right? And then what we're going to do is do the same thing. We're going to lay this one right about there. Okay. And we're going to snip that little piece off here. And we're going to use this just like that. All right, so that'll basically be the layout of our little hose here. Now, we need to trim this up a bit because this is not going to work if we don't. Okay. So now there is what our hose is going to look like, right? So, and what we're going to do is we're going to switch out to make the borders a little bit more prominent, right? So we're going to switch out to 0.20, okay? And this should go fairly quickly because we've got the entire layout here locked into place. Okay. First step is done. Second step is done. Get the schmutz off the chisel there. to trim that little piece of tape off there. Okay, so now we can pull all these pieces, because we're not going to need these pieces of Dymo anymore. Okay, now that we've got our initial path set in. So there, you can kind of see, whoa, a little bit of what we're getting after there, right? Okay, so let's get these these lines deepened a lot, because that is going to be the part that kind of helps sell this. Okay. Right. And last but not least, these two down here. All right. So those are pretty nice and deep. This is a 1.5 millimeter piece of styrene, right? So fairly thick in the grand scheme of things. For this width of hosing that we're gonna sculpt into this, you need a kind of a thicker piece of styrene, right? All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take our hobby knife. What time is it? 12:28. Good. All right. And the trick of this is we're going to keep the flat edge to the outside of this thing, and we're just going to start beveling the inside, right? Okay. Starting to look decent. Okay. So we're going to do this first part here, and then I'll show you kind of what this thing looks like here, because this is starting to look kind of like a hose. And one of the other things that you can do is you can switch to, say, like a ceramic scraper like this, right? And kind of... Ooh, shit. Just blew out the side there. Alright, so get our 0.2 millimeter back in here. Just clean up that border. Now, let me show you just real quick what this kind of looks like here, right? Let's go super zoom in. Okay. So, there's our normal looking scribe lines and all that. Let's see, let's get a little bit more focused here. There we go. So there's that, and then you transition up to here, and you look at the profile of this thing, and there you can see, and let's get a little bit, there it is. So you can kind of see how that now we've sculpted that into kind of a roundover, right? And that just looks really, really nice. So let's get out of super zoom. There we go. Now let's start to get the rest of this thing transitioned over to a looking like a hose, right? You're looking like a man. I don't know if you guys remember Mad TV from back in the day. Miss Swan. Sheesh. So the one thing that you got to be careful of is kind of blowing out the the opposite side of where you're scraping here, because I just kind of did that twice on this thing, and it's just a super pain in the butt. You looking like a man. God, that shit was so funny back in the day. And the trick is, you want to start with the back edge of your blade. You want to start it perpendicular or at a 90-degree angle to your plastic, right? And you want to scrape out that way. And then as you start to remove material, you want to start to angle the blade in this direction a little bit more to start to round that piece over a bit, right? That's kind of the trick to it. And then you just start freehanding it and kind of smoothing it out and all that good stuff. Okay, so that now looks like a roundy bit right there. So we're 2/3 the way there, right? 2/3 the way. Okay. Getting there. We're getting there. Obviously, with this type of thing, you do really want to just kind of take your time, because the more time you take, the much better results you're going to get out of this. Me right now, I'm speeding through this, so I'm not getting you know, a ton of precision that I'd like and all that good stuff. I'm basically just trying to whip this out to show you guys what is possible with plastic sculpting here, right? Because he looked like a man. That's now stuck in my head, you guys. Like, legit. Mrs. Swan will forever live in Monoghan. Because he look like a man. Alright, let's swap out to... just like that. Let's round over this side. Alright, we're almost done here. Just kind of fine-tuning some of these. Alright. Let's run the 0.20 over these outside gaps, just to make that nice and neat. Okay. And there is basically our sculpted in hose. Now, we could stop there. We totally could. And we could be happy with that. But there's a little something that we could add to this to make to just really make this pop, right? Really just make this pop. And we're gonna add a couple little scribes into this. Now I'm just marking my lines with my with my hobby knife here, right? And then we can kind of come back in here and really just kind of make those lines a reality. Okay. So far, so good. That's looking pretty nice. Okay. Whew, boy. I'm not even on screen here. Sorry about that, you guys. Shit. Amazing that you guys are even still watching. Okay. Okay, looks good so far. One last corner line and we will be done. Okay, let's hold it this way because this will be easier. Excuse me. Okay. All right. Let's make sure all the debris bits are out of the lines. Alright, there she is, you guys. Let's see. Let's get into super zoom. And let's take a look at this, because it looks pretty good like that, but zoomed in kind of looks even better. Alright, so if we look at this in a relief type of way, you can see there, this is all rounded over and looking really, really slick, right? And then you can see how those corner scribes, you know, you kind of call out those corners there with these little lines here. You just kind of make that joint at the corners, and it just sells the whole look, right? It sells the entire look of this being a hose embedded in whatever surface that you choose, right? Now, what you could do, say for instance, if this is like a, I don't know, like a green, like a plant or something like that, right? You can have this hose being like a dark gray, and then you could paint these little corner pieces. You could paint those red or something like that, or a lighter shade of gray or something like that. You know, maybe a copper. Who knows, right? But that kind of detail and this kind of plastic sculpting, you know, along with, you know, something like this, what I did on, you know, the laser cannon here, that just shows you what you can do with chisels, right? And a little bit of thought process that goes into it, right? So that's what I was shooting for on the piece, but the thing that killed me on that piece was the glue underneath. It just made everything soft, and it was moving and all that. So I'm probably just, like I said, I'm going to probably fill that in and probably surface mount, you know, some half round or something like that, right? Probably some 1mm half round. Probably just, you know, something like this, right? Now this is obviously much thinner than that, and hell, even let's see, the 2mm half round is, yeah, see, it's just about that. Now I know a lot of you might say, well, Tim, why waste so much time? Why not just scribe a 2mm or a 1mm line in there and pop in, you know, pop in your half round and everything? It's a great question. Well, number one, if your line isn't completely flat, you're gonna see waves, and you're going to see that translate onto that that half round, right? So, in my opinion, if you're going to use half round, surface mount it to a very, very flat surface. Now, mind you, you can curve it, or you know, you can wrap it around curved surfaces and everything, like wide or curved surfaces, but they're flat, they're smooth. They don't necessarily, they won't have undulations like this in the scribe line that you might pull, right? So this is my preferred method of inlaying, kind of hosing into the surface like that, just sculpting, right? Yeah, I dig it. Anywho, not too bad. Not too bad. Will says, would you use heat to bend the half round or cut it? I would absolutely cut it. Yeah, you would need to, and that would be another thing. You would need to find the perfect miter to cut that at the angle that you want to cut it at, right? So, yeah. So there you go, guys. That's sculpting. All right, let me go back here just real quick, get caught up with the chat. I'm just gonna kind of scan for questions and stuff. I'm not gonna go through and read everything because there's a lot, obviously. So sorry if I don't necessarily read your comment or anything. But again, I am just kind of scanning for questions, right? Let's see. Not seeing many. Might be a good thing, right? Here we go. RF Aurora question. Come on, button. There we go. Is that ceramic scraper on your Amazon link? Unfortunately, no. This was sent to me. Who sent this? I think Ultraman Dyna sent this. This is actually BMC's ceramic scraper, and come to find out, which I'm just actually noticing this now, if you look at the relief there, what's that say, you guys? Do you see it there? Do you see what that says? Yep, that says NT Cutter Japan. Look at that little NT right there. NT Cutter. Same as our hobby knife. NT Cutter. Ha! How about that? Right? That's crazy. So obviously this handle is by NT Cutter, but the blade itself probably is from BMC, and BMC probably just rebranded, just uses their handle. So yeah. Anywho, continuing on. But no, to answer your question, Andrew, that knife or that ceramic scraper is not in the Amazon link, but another one is, and should hopefully get you to where you need to be. Let's see. He looking like a man. I don't know why. It's just that is literally stuck in my head right now. Charles Dodge, because it got buried. Okay. Boom.
We have a question.
Question about thinning Gaia Notes black surface or using Gaia Notes thinner T01. Anyone have a ratio they like? I have never used Gaia Notes, so I couldn't tell you even the foggiest, unfortunately, Charles. What I would say is start with a milky consistency, and then go from there. Test spray it, see what it's like, and then either add more thinner or add a little bit more primer, right? Just make sure it sprays well. That's kind of the main thing, right? But yeah, start off, I'd say, with a milky consistency, and then just kind of balance it out kind of from there. Usually gets you into the spot that you need to be in. So, yeah. Oh, my. All right, kids. Whew. That was a long one. Not even going to lie. That was a long one. But that looks pretty damn good. That scribing looks like absolute dog shit. But, again, I'll go and clean that up. And we'll, surface mount and, do our due diligence on that. But we're in a good spot thus far for our GBWC build, yeah? Bill says, is it Pabs or Gary who uses Gaia all the time? That's Pabs. Pabs is the one that is Mr. Gaia Notes. So, yeah. Check with Pabby. Best thing I can tell you. Check with Pabby. Anyway. All right, kiddos. Let's go ahead and wrap this one up. It's been a long one. We almost went 3 hours tonight, so well worth the price of admission, I'd say, right? All right, so you guys, repping Mecha Army. If you want to get you one of these awesome Mecha Army shirts or hats, you can find those at www.childofmecha.com. Hit the store button up at the top. You will find this shirt, hats, posters of my work, all sorts of cool stuff. So go load it up right now, right? After that, if you are interested in the tools and materials that we have worked with here today, I highly suggest that you hit the Amazon link below here on Twitch and YouTube. That side if you're watching on Facebook. Now, I get a bit of a commission based off the stuff that you buy, but it does not increase the cost for you. It goes to help me out, goes to help out the stream, goes to help out fueling our endeavors moving forward, right? A lot of cool stuff in there, tools and materials, books for inspiration, gear for streaming. If you want to get into that, now's a good time. Lastly, if you are interested in kits, paints, tools, accessories, Mecha Decals, sheets 1 and 2, those are both in stock and shipping now. Hit up our good friends right down here, USA Gundam Store. Adam and the crew down there will definitely have what you need. Hey, and if you know what, if you like the stream, if you like learning about making little toy robots and stuff like that, like, subscribe, follow, all that fun stuff. And if you know somebody that can benefit from this, share it with them. Tell them about us. You know, tell them to come on over and watch. Okay? And hit the like button at the bottom. That helps out. All right? So, you guys, I will be back here tomorrow, 3 p.m. We're going to jump back onto the SD build, and we'll rock and roll from there. So, hopefully you guys learned something tonight with this plastic sculpting jazz, and hopefully you like that. Aside from that, be safe out there, you guys. Wash your hands, use some common sense, and just go build something cool. All right? I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care.